record button. Okay. So now we're recording. So now you have to be careful what you say. No.
That's okay. That way, I know that Dr. Flynn was wanting to be in on this, but she couldn't be here today.
Okay.
So he would be able to actually listen to this at a later date too.
Okay, good. Okay, so we went over to check her eccentric viewing. And if she isn't viewing eccentrically, some training on that might help her. And you're going to start with small, little training times at home. Tell her not a long period of time, just like 5 minutes, maybe twice in the morning, twice in the afternoon, things like that, so she doesn't get super tired. So you want her to do that to see if eccentric viewing. Check for that dominant eye. Maybe it's the worst seeing eye. Maybe it's rivaling with the other one and causing her problems when she's reading. Maybe just occluding that might make the difference. And then just to repeat, when you're teaching her how to read, it's very important that she can try and orient herself to maybe the page edge to keep her magnifier straight. And then always, once she goes over the line, go back over the same line before moving down a line. And that'll keep her in place to where she's reading, because her main goal is reading. So you don't want her to miss lines. Now, if it's not long-term reading, if it's spotting, like recipes and things like that, hopefully that can be even easier for her to eventually get the hang of. But,
yeah, I think it's mainly from what she said to me was she would like to be able to maybe read her recipes, look at just small areas of reading. She doesn't want to sit down and read a book. She knows she can't do that, but she just wants.
Oh, okay. All right.
Your pill bottle, like looking at price. Oh, the other thing she mentioned was prices in stores you can't see, like things like that.
Okay. You also might, she wants to be portable. She wants to go out to a store and see things as well. Okay. I was going to say, if she wants to just read recipes and things like that, maybe even a CCTV to have in her kitchen to just go to put something under. Is her eyesight, does she have diabetes or anything where her eyesight changes on a daily basis?
I don't think it does. I'm sorry, I should have had her file up here before we got.
No, that's okay. That's okay. Just something else to consider, because that could be one reason why one day, why she read in your office, and then when she got home, she couldn't read. But my guess is if she read in your office and she got home and she couldn't read, it's probably either the way she's using it in some way. Could be contrast as well. What you showed her in the office could have been an eye chart, which is very black letters on very white paper. Maybe when she got home, she tried to read something. So make sure you check all the different contrast modes, and we'll go through that with the Smart Lux. Also, the part I just told you about scrolling across a line and then scrolling back to the front of the line. Well, the Visolux Digital XL, that's not necessary, because you can actually, and I'll show you how later, double click a button and it jumps back to the front of the line for them.
Okay.
So they don't actually have to scroll back, which is, I think it's one of the best things that's happened to the unit, because sometimes that can be confusing. She seems to be with it, but sometimes it can be dizzying to people and stuff like that. So the fact that this just jumps back to the front of the line, it's really cool. But let's go over the Smart Lux first. The Smart Lux is real easy, simple. So we should be able to do this in a couple of seconds. And
just let me grab it.
Yep.
I've got it here.
Yep. I thought by bringing up the instruction booklet, I won't forget anything to tell you about the unit. So I thought that might be the best. And since I don't have a Visolux Digital XL.
So which one? Oh, we're going through this one first. Okay.
The SmartLux, yeah. So this is the SmartLux Digital. This is our most popular handheld actually in the world today. And
okay.
I think it's because it's simple and it does the trick for most people. Okay, so you know, this is the way you would use it as a handheld with the legs in, right? So this is where you palm the unit. Your hand goes around here. Takes a couple of seconds to turn on because you're holding it with your hand there. If we made it super sensitive, it might go on and off all the time. So you really have to hold that button down for a couple of seconds to turn it on. This is the way you use it as a stand magnifier. So you fully extend those legs and place it on the paper when you want to do any type of long-term reading, or it also gets it immediately at the correct focal length and everything. So, you know, it's the legs extended fully is the way you use it as a stand magnifier. And then there's an in-between. I don't know if you feel it as you move those legs. There's an in-between setting where it kind of clicks. And that's the setting you use it for when you want to write underneath it. And the when you want to write underneath it, you can use it in this setting, right-handed, left-handed, because you can turn it. You can even use it. I had a little kid because he was using math columns. He was using that screen pointed away from him and writing underneath it that way because the math was in columns. So he liked to do it that way. Now, the newer ones have a little place for a lanyard underneath. I don't know if you have one of the newest models.
Oh, well, it should be because we just ordered it here about a month ago for her.
Oh, okay, so you do have the newest model. So if you look on the underside of the model, there is a little, there's right near here, near the base, there should be two little holes there.
Yes.
Where the lanyard goes through. Now, if someone wants to use a lanyard, and you should ask them, thread the lanyard through before they leave your office. I have to tell you that they put the lanyard from pressure from us here in the U.S. We said people wanted to put the lanyard around their arm. Pressure from us, they put a lanyard on there, but they didn't do the design correctly. They didn't close at the bottom. So the lanyard wants to feed into the machine instead of coming back up. So it wouldn't be easy for a visually impaired person to put that lanyard in.
Oh no, I guess it wouldn't be.
It's not even easy for a visually okay person to put that lanyard in, I'll tell you right now. So I'll send you some instructions, could involve a paper clip.
Okay.
There is a way to get the lanyard in. I would suggest if they want to use it, some people just like the security of putting it around their wrist so that if they lose grip, it doesn't fall to the floor.
Okay.
Although we now have a little shield similar to a phone case. It doesn't shield the screen, but it does help with some impact so that if they do drop it to the floor. So that might be something you might suggest. Okay. So when you switch it on, you immediately see a battery up in the upper right-hand corner. If you're holding the on-off button in your in your right hand, and turning it on, you'll see up on the screen the battery power as soon as you turn it on. So that's something that they should pay attention to.
Okay.
Is that your computer playing music?
I thought it was you.
I don't know where that music is coming from. That is not me. Isn't that weird?
I thought it was you.
That's funny. It doesn't bother me. It's not. It's not loud music, but I was just wondering if that was your computer.
That's weird.
Yeah.
I thought it was you playing music.
That's funny.
I don't have a clue where it's coming from. Must be me.
At least we both hear it.
Yes.
So you see the battery when you turn on the unit? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So this unit goes from 5x to 12x. So if she really needs, but you said that she saw fine when you had her there at the office last time.
Yes, she did.
So I don't know why she wouldn't. I thought it was going to show a better picture of the front of it. Okay, let me just go here. So there's 3 different buttons. This unit's really, really simple. Let me just go back to the original picture here. Sorry about that.
No problem.
So the on-off switch right there. If you can see, can you see my little cursor there? Okay.
I sure can.
On-off switch, magnification. So you have to cycle through on this one. So it goes from 5x up to 12x, and then it'll cycle back to 5x. This is the mode button. Very important that you try. There's only a couple of modes. There's black and yellow, yellow and black. There's one setting that digitizes the picture, so it takes the grayscale out. So you're going to get better contrast with that one. And then there's regular full color. But it's important. Yellow is a very important color for the visually impaired. Why I'm not 100% sure. It has something to do with the optic nerve. But a lot of people are more comfortable with the yellow and black or the black and yellow. So make sure you trial that with her. And then the last one is the camera button. Now, when you hit that camera button once, okay, you just have it in freeze frame. Okay, so you've just frozen the picture. If you hit it again, that picture goes away. So that's just if she wants to see a price tag in a store or a can of soup ingredients in a store or something like that. Because once you get that freeze frame, you can also magnify it more. So you can bring it up more. You can alter the picture. You can alter the color background and that type of thing. If she needs it when she does it. But that is not going to save the picture in the unit.
Okay.
That's only going to take a freeze frame.
Freeze frame. All right.
If you want to save the unit, you need to hit that button for the freeze frame. And then once you have that picture there, I believe you press and hold the camera button to save it in the unit.
Okay. Yes, you're right. I just tried it.
And it'll say like 1 of 3 or 1 of 2 or whatever. The camera is the most difficult thing about the unit. Other than that, it's pretty cut and dry. Now, if you hold down though the buttons, they all have different features to them. So if you press and hold the mode button down, that should, let me get back to the English portion. I believe that should, is that the brightness or that's turning it off? Hold on.
That's
Adjusting the brightness.
If you hold down, it comes up with a little light bulb.
Yes, so that turns off the LED underneath. So if they're working, say, looking at a video display of some kind, maybe their cell phone, maybe they're getting a flashback from whatever, it's too bright, so they can turn the LEDs off completely if they need to. Now, turn that back on by holding it down, okay, and you'll get the light bulb back and the light will come back on. You also can, by holding the magnification button down, the middle one. Yes. A lot of people are light sensitive, so you can dim the brightness down to 50%. It'll go from 100% if you keep holding it.
Oh, yes.
Down to 75%, down to 50%, and then back up to 100. So, and the camera button, you can press and hold, and you can, if you see this screen, so you can delete images, or if you've gotten to your 20, right? This one only holds 20 pictures. So this is really not a, like the Visolux Digital holds 1,500 pictures. This one only holds 20. So when you get, it's going to, when you press and hold, it's saying that it's going to, when you get to 20, it's going to, the symbol is going to show in red, saying that you really have to delete images before you can save another image. So when you press and hold it, you should see a little trash can come up.
Yes.
And what you need to do is go down to that mode button and hit that in order to get rid of that saved unit.
Oh, this is a bit confusing.
Yeah, this is the most, this is the hardest part of the unit, but it's right here in the booklet. So you want to hold down that contrast buttons for 3 seconds. And then that trash can will come up, and you're going to confirm if you want to delete the image by pressing that contrast button again.
Okay.
Once somebody has it, they're going to get it, but it may take, a bit of practice.
Okay.
You don't have to delete it either. Even though it says delete, it'll go off, or you can press the magnification button again. Now we added that's really all the functionality to the button. And a lot of people, if people purchase that one, they're not really picture taking people like, the kids are nowadays. They take hundreds of pictures every day. They take pictures of what they eat and pictures of.
Yes.
For this one, they're going to usually use the freeze frame operation more, because they're going to want to see a price tag in a store or something like that they're not going to want to save. Quite possibly they might want to save a phone number in there or something like that, but usually 20 is enough. But so that's really, the device is really simple, and I think that's one of the reasons it's one of our best-selling units that we have. But underneath, now remember, turn it off so you don't shine the LEDs in your eyes.
Yep.
And if you turn it up underneath, right next to the legs, there's a little white button that the visually impaired probably won't be able to see, which is a good thing. It's a reset button, and they should only hit it if they need it. Do you see that little round circle that's on the button?
Can you see me?
Push it over a little bit. No, the other way. Yeah, a little bit more. No, the other way.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So I see the white button.
Okay. You see it there next to the legs.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, I do.
So that's a little reset button. So if they need, it's the first thing you should start with. So if somebody calls you up, says their device is frozen, it's a computer like a telephone. So once in a while, you may get somebody who the thing is frozen, or maybe something's not working right. The first things you need to ask them, is it fully charged? And then have them press the reset button. And it's just basically, you take something and you hold it down for a couple of seconds, and it should restore everything to the device from before.
Okay. Okay.
If anything else, you can call us, or if you forget about this, the first thing that the girls in customer service are trained to say is, have you tried the reset? So they'll ask you as well. It's 2 hours to charge up. They can leave it plugged in, and so that it's fully charged, and when they're ready to go, they can use it plugged in, say they're paying bills or doing a crossword puzzle or something like that. They can use it plugged in at their desk and then unplug it to go.
Okay.
But like anything else, you don't want to constantly do that. You don't want to overcharge batteries. It's just like your phone. You wouldn't leave it plugged in all the time. So same type of thing. It has a 2-year warranty. So that's from the date that you dispense it to your patient. So what I would suggest to you guys is to always take down and write on your bill of sale or whatever that you keep, the serial number that you dispensed. And if you look on the bottom, it's going to say something like, the serial number is going to start with 165011 at the bottom. Okay, that's the part number to the unit. But then you're going to see a big letter, an A, B, something like that in the middle. Okay, so right after that, the next 4 digits are the date and the year that it was, the month and the year that it was manufactured.
Okay.
So as long as it's dispensed in an appropriate amount of time, say within 3 months or so, 3 months to 6 months, the warranty starts when your consumer receives the goods. Now, I know you usually order in, don't you?
Yes, we do.
So they're always going to have that 2-year warranty, and that's against manufacturer defect. So if they drop the unit and crack the screen or something like that, that's not covered under the warranty. The warranty is if it stops working. Yeah.
Okay. So in other words, say for example, if we did stock something here, it's actually not a good idea because the warranty would be shortened by the time we sold it. Is that what I understand?
No. If you would decide to stock it, it would probably be only because you're selling it well. So as long as it's sold like within 3 to 6 months, within a normal time. If you keep it for 2 or 3 years, no, we wouldn't honor the warranty anymore.
Okay.
But if you sold it within 3 or 6 months, we build that in so that we know that some people do stock them. So the warranty starts when your consumer gets the unit. So,
okay. Yeah, and we probably do never stock. We probably just sell as we needed it.
Yeah, well, you never know. If it became a popular item, like I said, it's one of our most popular. We do have a buy 6, get 1 free, which means that Dr. Flynn would get a really good deal on them, and they would lower the cost. So it depends. But
yeah, I think down the road, she would like to be able to do more of the low vision, but it just we haven't been able to do it yet. So it's in the future anyway.
Yeah, I have a doctor in New Brunswick which has sold this one that I'm going to show you about now. She sold already 6 of them this past year in
Wow.
New Brunswick. So, it depends. Your kind of advertising of it, word of mouth. If there's nobody really in your area that does low vision.
No, there isn't.
So, it could be a
This
good
lady
thing. I mean, yeah.
This lady that I've been telling you about this morning, she actually stumbled upon this. She was actually at an ophthalmologist's appointment. They had, which is Dr. Scott. They had a very few little low vision aids at his office, but nothing that was, of any point to her.
Yeah.
And she just happened to be in here for a different appointment that few days later, and she told me about it. And I go, oh, well, we have some. And that's how we started on this road. And she had said, well, she didn't realize we did. So at some point, we are going to get more into this. But yeah,
it does help. It does help. Maybe I don't know if you want me to send you a poster. Maybe I don't know if Dr. Flynn has anything going on in her waiting room as far as looping video or anything like that talks.
Yeah, we do. We do have a.
Does she include low vision on it?
I honestly can't really tell you what's on that loop because I can't even see it.
Okay.
But I think that she definitely is planning to do a lot more with the low vision, but the time hasn't been. She's only here one day a week.
Yeah.
And maybe in the future she'll be picking up more hours. So I guess we will do it eventually. But
when you're ready. We have lots of marketing ideas. We have things that can help you. We even have we make little pads for you, like you can give to the ophthalmologist. And when, we can have your name and office printed on it. So they almost do it like an RX. So when they see someone with macular degeneration or they see somebody with, retinitis pigmentosa or whatever their vision loss is coming from, he can just rip off the pad almost like an RX. You want to make it easy for the ophthalmologist, right? So you can just say, here, go see these people, and they can help you with your activities of daily living. Even though I can't operate on you, and there's nothing we can do except, Lucentis shots or whatever to keep the macular degeneration from progressing, but these people can help you with your activities of daily living. So if you'd like to, if you'd like to, I can print you off a couple if you think that's something that Dr. Scott might embrace, or, usually when you make it easier for them, they like it because.
Yes, definitely. Well, we're recording all of this, so I expect that Dr. Flynn is going to watch this because she can watch this at home, I believe.
Yeah.
So this will give her some ideas.
Okay. So we have plenty more ideas whenever you're ready to do your marketing out in the community for low vision. You could certainly do that. Now with the Visolux Digital, we actually had one device that's 7 inches. And let me just show it to you, just in case you ever get anybody interested in this, but they say, well, it's not as portable as I want it to be. We do have, let's see. Let me just go here for a second. We do have another handheld here that came in between the SmartLux, and the introduction of this one. And this one's called our Visolux Digital. It's a 7-inch model.
Oh, okay.
Now, the only difference there's a couple of differences. Price is a different, and that's U.S. pricing. I apologize. I'm logged in as a U.S. Canadian, it's a little bit higher. The 7-inch does not have touchscreen. So that's a big difference. And it also does not have HDMI input. So you can't connect a distance camera to this one like you can to the other one. The other one is very multifunctional because you can connect HDMI output. So in other words, you can hook this up to a monitor via, now these connections are HDMI. The cords come with it, okay? But they need the HDMI connection on whatever they're connecting to. So their television or their camera, if they want to connect a camera, has to be via HDMI connection. So there's HDMI input and output on this one. So with this one, okay, let me go over the little parts to it as well. Obviously, this is the screen. This is the contrast button on this unit. Well, let's start with the on-off button. The on-off button is the one in the middle.
Yep.
This is the contrast. Unlike the SmartLux Digital, this one has 14 different color combinations for them to choose from. So if you have them all on, because with this unit, it's very easy to turn on and off features. So once we get into the drill down menu, I'll make sure you have everything on to start. Because what you want to do is you want to show them the complete range of what the unit can do. And then you as the low vision professional want to turn off anything that they may not use. Because why should they be bothered by it? So say of these 14 different colors, they only like 5 of them. So why should they have to cycle through 14 different colors to find the ones that they like? So if you turn off the other colors, which can easily be turned back on at any time if they want them, but you can turn it off and then they'll only have to cycle through the 5 colors and then it'll be easy for them. This is the camera button. And these buttons also have additional features by pressing and holding them down. So we'll go over that in a minute. But this is basically the camera button. And this unit goes from 2x up to 22x. So with this unit, you don't have to cycle through the whole 22x. So you can up and down, because that would be really cumbersome if you had to go through all. Actually, with this unit, if you find out, she'll never go above 12x or she'll never go above 15x, you can actually go in there and turn off the powers above. So again, she doesn't have to get confused or go up there at all. So you can turn on and off some of the features. Now, this is the HDMI input. Input means it grabs a picture, of course, from outside and puts it into the camera and displays here. So you can actually attach a distance camera via HDMI. The only thing you need to have, and we sell a Canon camera. Obviously, we're not a camera company. It's Canon that makes this camera. We just bought some for our customers' convenience, and we sell them. But we do have them if you want. But they can buy their own camera. They have to make sure it has a digital zoom to the camera, which most little portable cameras have them now, because you want to be able to zoom into something in the distance so that they can see it on their screen.
Okay.
So they can attach it. So it needs to have a zoom and it needs to have a HDMI connection. If there's
what would be the advantage? What would they use this for? Like, why would they hook a camera to?
Well, if they're in the workforce, absolutely, they'd use it to see a whiteboard at a meeting. If they're a student, to see. If they're at home, it could be a multitude of things. We actually have people that, believe it or not, watch television on our screen. They actually zoom in because sometimes they can't see the baseball scores at the bottom of the screen, or if they're looking at stock market ticker tape, they can't see the stock market at the bottom. So what they do, I think it's very, genius. I mean, I would have never thought of this, but some of our customers use it to see those fine details on their TV screen that they can't see. So,
well, that's interesting.
Yeah, could be bird watching, could be a multitude of different things, whenever they want to see in the distance.
Because actually, this lady, her actual name is Jackie. She, her complaints, I just remember this, was she can't see the TV guide.
Yeah, the TV guide, the paper TV guide.
I'm not sure if she meant the TV guide that comes up on your TV.
On the television, yeah. I don't know that anybody uses those paper TV guides anymore, but they might. But if she's looking to see the guide on her television screen, this might do the trick for her. But she would have to, let me just show you real quick here, since also Dr. Flynn is going to be seeing this. Let me just show you. That's so funny. I wonder where that music's coming from.
I don't know.
It's pretty. It's pretty.
Is it distracting you?
No, not at all. It reminds me of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Yeah. So the camera that we sell is $348. You would sell it for $368. I guess you're not making too much of a markup on the camera. You could sell it for what you want, I guess. We do sell a tripod as well, but if it's into any tripod, they could get one at Walmart or whatever. And this is the way you hook the camera into the unit. So it captures, it's HDMI input because it's taking an image and inputting it into this screen. The output is when you're on the other side, you're hooking up to a television or any kind of unit that has an HDMI connection, any kind of monitor. And it's taking whatever she's reading and inputting it on a big screen. So it can also act like a CCTV as well.
Okay.
So there's two different functionalities to this one. Whereas that little 7-inch I showed you, it doesn't have the input with the external camera. It only has the output. But you can also hook that one up to a television as long as she has HDMI connection. And a lot of the visually impaired have the big screen TVs.
Yes.
So, they have the connection that you need. We do sell an additional cord. It does come with all the cords, I want you to know. This is a cord we bought that has a swivel hinge on the end. It makes it a little easier to deal with, but it's not a necessity. I just want you to know. But I can also send you this sell sheet so that you can, have this as a reference guide in case they wanted to. Some people, just for convenience sake, would rather buy the whole package together. And then we also have an optional bag. This bag over here, this is not the bag that it comes in. I don't know if you can see it there well.
I can.
But this bag will hold everything. It'll hold the tripod, it'll hold the camera, it'll hold the Visolux Digital XL. And it's much smaller than this appears. it's a little bit larger than a 12-inch bag. So,
Okay.
but it holds everything, and it's $39 is your cost Canadian.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
just so you know. Let me see. Where was I here? Okay. Get back to. Let's see. I thought I was in Acrobat, but maybe I was. No, I think I was here. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So getting back to that now, so that's the HDMI input. That's where you attach the distance, and on the other side is and again, it comes with all the wires. On the other side is where you would hook it up to a CCTV or, I mean, a regular monitor that has HDMI connection. See, so
Yep.
one says input on one side, and the other side says output. Okay?
Yep, gotcha.
All right. So this button is a USB. No, I'm sorry, that's the HDMI. These buttons control what we call the dynamic line scrolling. And I'll go over that with you in a minute. Is she a person that is comfortable with the touchscreen? Or does
I'm not sure.
Okay. Because
I think it would be.
yeah, in this model, well, it depends on her eyesight too. We found out that a lot of people, it's not only that they don't know the technology of touchscreen, but it's also that they can't see what's on the screen.
Yes.
So that's why they're not comfortable with touchscreen. But we did do something to combat that as well, and I'll show it to you later. Because this model, you can turn on a voice that speaks every icon as you're going through it. So when you touch it, it'll say what it is. And it does it in several different languages in case she speaks, if another language is her first language. It has about 5 different languages, but mostly European. So these are dynamic line scrolling, and we'll go over that in a minute. Remember I told you about how you push a button and it jumps back to the beginning?
Yes.
The line. Well, that's what these things do. And we'll go over more detail, but basically, when you touch this one, it's going to scroll across the line, and it has 3 different speeds. So you can start her off slowly, and then gradually she'll want to increase her speed as her reading gets better. Obviously, she's not reading at all right now, so until she gets that eccentric viewing down, she's probably going to want to be at the slowest speed possible. And then if you hit this button twice, it'll get back to the front of the line.
Okay.
She only needs to move her eyes down on the page. So it's one of the best features I think they put in the unit. Okay, so this is the bottom. Let's see, is that
Switching off?
Yeah, this. Okay. Okay, this is the side of the unit and the bottom of the unit, I believe.
Yep.
This is the side. This should be the side because this has let me just go because they're just showing you where the camera is here. And this is the bottom. There's an SD card in the bottom. If you go to the bottom of the unit, underneath that on-off button, on the very bottom, there's a little door.
There is?
Yeah. If you, hold on, maybe there's a better picture of the bottom. No, there isn't.
Where is the door? I don't see it on here.
Hold on a minute. I know that it's so underneath. So you're looking at the hold it up for me.
Okay, just a second here.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so not there. Turn it a little bit towards you.
This way?
Yeah. Oh, no, that's the top of the unit, right?
I see it.
Oh, okay, yeah. So.
Of course, it says SD card on it.
Okay, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So,
Okay.
so that's where the little SD card, it comes with the unit. It has, I want to say 6 gigabytes. So it'll hold about 1,500 pictures.
Perfect.
If this can be dumped into your computer because there is a place on top. I want to say, no, that's the side. For some reason, they didn't show the top of this unit, which is strange. The top portion, I believe that's where the USB port is.
Just a second. I'll show you.
Yeah.
Can you see what I'm looking at? This is awkward. Okay.
Yeah.
There.
Yes. See, that's the USB port. See where it says USB underneath on the bottom anyway. So that's where the USB port is. If they want to dump the pictures into their computer and start fresh, they can with that SD card. They can empty it. The other thing that the USB is useful for is that when you hook it up to the internet, if there's an update to be had on the unit can be updated right away. So it doesn't get as old as a lot of units do. Sometimes you have something for 6 months and it's outdated. You know what I mean?
Yes.
When it comes to electronics. But okay, so on the other side of the unit that we weren't looking at the first time, the other side, you're going to see the HDMI output. That's where you would hook it up to the external monitor. And then we did something that we didn't do on the 7-inch. We did the dynamic line scrolling up and down as well. So not only does it go across, but you can move the lines up and down. Because when you take a picture from the camera will get a page from right to left. It'll go, in most regular books, they'll go all the way to the margin, from one margin to another. And then when you blow it up, in 2X, most people are in 2X. When you blow it up, you don't see that same field anymore. So that's where the dynamic line scrolling comes into place. So I'll show you this. We have a little video, and I'll show it to you exactly how it works.
Okay.
In a moment. So when you go into, and let me just get to the English part here. That big instruction booklet, only a few pages are in English. So don't get daunted by that whole instruction booklet. And it'll tell you, I think it starts page 20 something. Let's see. Oh, here it is. Okay, so it starts page 19. And that's the part in English. And then the rest of it is all different languages. So,
okay.
Yeah. Did you say something? You had a question or no?
No.
Okay. So, like I said, it comes with the cables. It comes with the USB cable. It comes with the HDMI cable. Comes with the hard foam case and all that you see in there, and carrying strap. Now, let me just see something. Yeah. Okay. All right. So, basically, the buttons do similar to what to similar to what the SmartLux does, you know, the
Okay.
contrast, you know, those are easy to understand. But on the top of the unit, in the middle, there's a button that is bigger, and I think it's blue.
Yes, I see it.
Okay, so when you press that, you get into a drill down menu that looks like this here.
Okay. Just let me turn the unit on here.
Yeah.
Okay. So if I press the blue button.
Yeah, in the middle of the top, right?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. Now, we put it there on purpose because the main thing is you don't want someone to hit a button and be lost all of a sudden. So we put that button there on purpose so that they'd have to reach over to get into that drill down menu. So all of these have different functionality, and you know, you can play around with this more after we get off the phone, but the first one is an orientation line. So if she needs an orientation line, is your line X'd out?
Just no, it's not.
It's not X'd out. Okay. So when you go back to the main menu, do you have the orientation line on the screen?
Okay, so I just go back. Just hold on. Yes, I do.
Okay.
It's red.
Right. So if you go back into that, press that blue button again in the middle.
Okay.
And then I noticed that, do you hear that your unit is speaking to you?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Okay, so you probably have that turned on, obviously, because it's speaking to you. So that will possibly help her. You hit it once. So if you hit this button again, it's going to tell you what it is.
Yes.
And then hit it again, and it should exit out.
It did. Yeah.
Okay. So now if you go back to your main screen, you should not have that orientation line on there anymore.
That's right. It's not.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
I'm wondering if my battery is on this unit is not. Oh, where do I check my battery strength?
Well, you can check it. I believe it's on the next page, but you can also turn it off and turn it back on. It should come up like the other one, show you the battery life. Let me just see here.
Gosh, it says 0%. That can't be right.
It says what?
0.
0%?
Yeah, but just let me turn it off and then I'll turn it back on.
Okay.
Okay, let's try it again. Yeah. It says 0%.
Okay. Well, I will plug it in then. Otherwise, we might get interrupted. It might go off.
Okay, now I need to just hold on. Bear with me.
Sure. Take your time. She gave us an hour and a half to go over this stuff.
I just need to find all the cords to it.
Sure.
All right, cords. Oh. That's not it. Huh. Okay, what's the cord actually look like to charge it?
I'm looking to see if they have a picture here.
Gosh. Wait a minute.
It's actually in two pieces, but it should be together.
Okay.
And actually, I think that we put a little label on it, I think. It should say VLDXL.
Does this look familiar?
Let me just see. Let me see here. 1 second. I moved your screen away. Hold on. Yeah, see on the side? No, the black. Yeah. It says VLDXL, right? Yeah, that's it.
That's it?
Yep. That
Okay.
cord. And then do you have the two pieces that go with that cord?
This is hard to, whoop, hold on. This thing.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Just a second. Let me see if I can figure out where to put it.
Yeah. It should be, I want to say it's on the side. Let me.
This reminds me like a phone charger. Oh, gee. All right. The problem is trying to find something to plug it into.
Oh.
Hold on.
That I can't help you with.
It's telling me we're low on battery.
Yeah.
I think I found something here.
Okay, and you found the place to plug it in?
Not quite yet.
Okay, let me see if I can.
You could see the little mess I'm working in here. You'd understand.
Yeah. No worries.
Right.
You should see my office. Let's see. On a button.
Would it be the USB port?
It could be. Is it that shape? I think it's that shape, right? Yes, USB charging connection. Yes, you plug it into the USB port.
Yeah, found it.
Okay.
Okay. I think we're plugged in now.
Okay. If you ever, you have this instruction booklet too, right?
Yes.
Is it with it? Okay. All right. Because, if you ever have any questions after we get off the phone.
Yeah. Okay. We're back.
Okay. So.
I need to put this somewhere where. Okay. There. I'll turn her back on. Hopefully it'll come on. There we go.
Yeah. And it should be okay now, because it should be. It's a good thing. Make sure you charge it up, of course, before you see your client.
Yeah. Now I'm going to leave it charging after we're done.
Yeah. Okay. So if you go back into that menu button.
Yep.
The second, it has two levels. That's why it's saying menu level 1.
Okay.
It actually has two levels. Sometimes the client will never go into these. That's why it's important that you go through each and everything with them and leave it set the way they like it. Because sometimes they'll never go in these drill down menus to change anything,
Okay.
They'll just use it as is. So the next one is the camera button. The camera button, of course, gets into your pictures and all that. But there's an easier way to get into the camera button. If on the main menu, the little camera button that's down at the bottom, if you press and hold that, you can also get into the workings of the camera, your pictures, and you can scroll through your pictures and things like that. The next button is a sliding magnification scale. So sometimes, even though it jumps X power to X power, sometimes you want something right in between, maybe 7X and 8X. So this one will actually jump up little tiny increments at a time. Okay. So it's just to fine tune, if she's seeing too much on one power and too little on one power, you can go in there and kind of fine tune it as to actually where she's going to be most comfortable. This unit will remember. So the next time she turns it on, it's always going to go back to the same magnification she had the last time. So if she's comfortable at a certain spot, it will. But if she goes and looks at something, say she looks at something really small and she turns the magnification up, it's always going to remember the last magnification that you were on. So just let her know that as well. This one is actually the LEDs. There's 5 LEDs on the unit. Sometimes when you have something like a very shiny magazine, you can get a little flashback. You know what I mean? The light comes back at you. So sometimes the LEDs can be a bit much. So by pressing in this, you can turn half of them off, or you can turn all of them off by going in this setting. Okay. Then once you get the light setting that you like, say you like all 5 LEDs, but sometimes during the day, the glare just gets a bit too much for your eyes. So you can dim and brighten the screen by using this. And this on a sliding scale, again, you can go up in small increments so you can dim and brighten the screen as well.
Okay.
This is the auditory tone. I don't know. I don't hear anything, so you might have this off right now. Does this have an X through it?
What is it? The
little musical note one. It's a little auditory prompt when you hit things. Oh, but you have the voice on, right?
Yeah, the voice keeps telling me things.
Okay, so that's what you have on right now. But if you didn't have the voice on, sometimes just like, our phone, when we silence it, when you can silence this unit, or sometimes people like to know when they hit something. So there's a couple of little tiny prompts that can, tell you that you're doing something with the unit. Yeah. Now is this one X'd out on your screen? With the hand?
The one with the hand on it?
Yeah.
No.
That's okay. So what this does is this actually limits the touch screen. Okay? So when you go back out to the main menu, if this is on, we did this specifically with people that are not too familiar with touchscreen. This will only allow you to go up and down and side to side. Sometimes when you go all around with touchscreen, it makes people confused. It gets people confused. So if you hit it once, it's going to turn off that feature, and then when you go back to the touchscreen, you'll be able to go in any direction with the touchscreen. You'll be able to pinch and zoom and move it around in any direction. But if she's someone who's just getting used to touchscreen, you might want to start her off with this, where it just goes up and down and side to side, because sometimes it can be a little confusing. Now this is the dynamic line scrolling. So this is, and I'm just going to, let's see, let me go right here for a minute so I can give you an idea. of how this works. Now, when you are hold on one second. I can't talk and maneuver at the same time here.
That's all right.
Oh, there's going to be a problem because his voice is going to come on because we're on the computer. But this is a little video. Try to ignore the voice for a second here. I'm also gonna move it a little bit forward. And let's see. You can watch this video as well. I suggest you watch the video because it gives you a little bit of an idea here. This is the dynamic line scrolling. So when you, let me hold on one second. Okay. I didn't mean to stop it there. Let me go back just a little bit. Okay, when you see the picture in 2x, of course, you're gonna, like this, they're gonna see the whole page. But
yes.
When most people need, 5x, 6x, 10x, 12x, you're not gonna see it anymore. That's where the dynamic line scrolling comes into play, because once it gets bigger, it will. And again, I suggest you watch this video, but I'm trying to get to the place. Okay, so it's going to, by pressing the buttons on the side, to scroll across the line, and then if you double click the arrow right below on your left-hand side, the arrow right below will make the line jump back to the beginning.
Okay.
And then you can either just move the eyes down, or there's also an up and down scrolling mechanism on the side here.
Okay.
It takes, she might be a good candidate for it if she doesn't like touchscreen, since she's cognitively with it. You know what I mean? Some people have a hard time. They do better with the touchscreen because it's just sometimes a little bit easier. But people that aren't familiar with touchscreens sometimes really appreciate this part of it. So, I won't show you that video anymore because because the voice is on. But basically, there's 3 different speeds. So you want to start her always off with the slowest speed. So that they can get used to it. Then as they get more proficient with it, then they'll want to read faster, and they'll speed it up. Now this icon is actually the instruction booklet that we're looking at.
Okay, good.
So if she wants to read, maybe she doesn't understand something, maybe she thinks she's doing something wrong, she can go right into the instruction booklet, blow it up to where she needs it to be able to comfortably read the instruction booklet.
Okay, and that would be helpful, actually, because I know her children are quite helpful too.
Oh, good.
So, yeah, so they could actually go into that and read some of this.
They could, or they could take the instruction manual and she can go in and read in large print, along with them, so she could understand. This is additional settings. With this one, you go into the second menu, I believe. So if you push that button, you're going to go into the second menu. And if you ever forget or anything, you can go back and you can read yourself. Like, these are the symbols. This is the lowest reading speed for the dynamic line scrolling. The 2 buttons is the medium speed, and this is the fastest speed. Okay. It's pretty intuitive. you know, but you can do that. I'm just looking here, calling up the quick guide, tap twice, and then tap the language symbol in order to select the required language. Oh, you can get the instruction booklet in all the different languages, which she may not need. And then you can use that button to scroll forward or backwards. Okay, all right. Yeah, I was just looking at that to see. So everything, once you have that speaking menu on, you're gonna have to tap everything twice. And the reason being is because just because you tap it, you just want to know what it is. You don't necessarily want to be in there, right? You just want to know what it is. So if you tap it and it's something that you know you want, then you tap it again. And again, the voice doesn't have to be on. You can also turn on and off that voice. And
how do you turn the voice off?
In this menu.
Okay.
Right here. So,
because it's quite annoying to me right now.
It is. If you don't need it. And if she doesn't need it, then, you know, but if she needs it, it's going to be invaluable to her. So keep tapping it until you get an X through it.
God, it's going through a bunch of different languages.
Right.
Okay. I haven't got an X yet. It comes up. Jeez. It comes up with a little, just a second. I'm going to show you.
Okay.
Now, can you see that?
Yeah.
So when I tap it,
that's German.
That comes up.
Okay, so it's going to another language. Okay, it's just a waiting time. Okay, go ahead. Tap it again. That's the auditory prompts. Okay, and then tap it one more time. I think the auditory prompt should go off. Oh, no. Okay, so I'm sorry. Cycle through it again. Till it gets to number 1.
Oh, gee. Yep.
Okay, so leave it there. It's going to give you a beep. Now, if you want that beep to be off, you have to go back to the first menu. Most people want some kind of, you have to go back to here.
Okay.
To turn that beep off completely.
Okay.
So if you go back, is there a back arrow on your screen?
Yep, I'm going back.
So that should bring you to the first menu.
Which is right here.
Yeah, and go to that.
Oh, shoot. I'm looking at my screen and there we go, right there.
Okay, so tap it until, I think that should X out.
There we go.
Yeah, now it's going to be, it should be completely silent.
Okay, we'll try.
So go back to this one.
Yep, I'm there.
To get back to the second menu. Okay, because we were already on the second menu.
Yay, it's quiet now.
Okay, good. I know, it can be a little bit annoying.
But I'm trying to listen to you, and it's talking to me too. So
yeah. So, oops, wrong menu. Sorry, that's the first menu. Okay, so we're at the second menu. So remember that the first menu had a line.
Yes.
Well, this one is blinds, what we call blinds. So this one you can orient if you click into that one.
Okay.
You should be able to determine, say they only wanted to see one line. to avoid all the visual clutters. That's going to take you to be able to orient yourself on one single line at a time. So we call that blinds. There's lines and blinds. So a line is just an orientation across the screen, but this one will actually get rid of all the visual clutter for you. Okay. The next one is the magnification button. Remember I told you if you press that, you can turn off some of the higher powers. So
yes. How do you do that?
So if you go in there, can you show me your screen?
Yep, just a sec.
Okay.
Can you see that?
Yeah, you're upside down, but that's fine.
Oh,
okay.
Hold on.
So,
okay. Oh, that's better.
Yeah.
Good.
So you see right now 15X is turned off.
Yes.
And 18X is turned off, and probably the one next to it, the highest one, 22X. So right now, this machine will only cycle up to 12X and no more. So if you hit those buttons, you can turn them back on. I always suggest that you turn on everything at first and then show them what it's like and if they like it and if they don't. Now hit that back arrow down there in the right hand corner. Yeah, and it should go back to the previous screen. Right.
Yep.
Okay. So that's the way you can turn them on and off. I mean, it's very, very simple to do, and if they decide they don't like it, they can always turn it back on. Very simple to do. The next one is the camera. Oh, maybe, hold on one second. I want to make sure I tell you correctly because I thought we already went through that camera. Okay, switching the photo button function on and off. Oh, okay. So if you don't want the camera to take photos, this can turn off that capability.
Okay.
Maybe they hit it by accident and they don't like it, you can turn that off. This is the touchscreen capability. So if they don't like the touchscreen, you can turn that off just by hitting the button. Turn it off or turn it on. When you have the functionality of the HDMI input or HDMI output, this is for the HDMI output. So when you want to see it on the, and I just want to make sure I'm telling you this correctly. Yeah, what happens is we found that a lot of people, when they're looking at something on an external monitor, sometimes they get confused by seeing it in two different places.
Okay.
So what they've allowed you to do is turn off the screen, the Visolux screen, while you're looking at it on the external monitor. They do a lot of focus groups in Germany before they actually introduce a new product. So they listen to, what they say. They listen to if something they don't like or they can't see a certain button or something like that. They listen to them, so they try and do things. So what was determined was a lot of people don't like to see it on two screens. So you can turn one of the screens off, but you can have both screens on as well with that button. So that's just for that. If they're confused by it, they can turn it off. That's why it's always good to trial all of these things with the patient before they leave and kind of set it to what you think the preferences may be. forgot this. This is the color modes again, 14 different color modes. You can switch on and off the ones that you like. If you hit that button, you'll see the color modes right now on your screen. See how many of them are turned off on your screen? Turn them back on so that you can go through each and every one with your client. So with what I'm seeing here right now, you know, they would have only seen a couple of, contrast modes.
So they haven't even seen this unit yet.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So now none of them have X's on them. You can go through and say they hate this red. Oh, it just bothers their eyes. So turn it off. They're never going to like it. They're never going to use it. So why should they cycle through it when you're going through the, on the outside of the unit, there's that contrast button. So only what you have left on are they going to cycle through.
Okay.
So, maybe they just love the yellow and black. So just leave that on for them and then just explain to them how to turn back on the others in case they ever need them.
Okay.
This is a guideline, this one that says 5 minutes, where the unit will automatically shut itself down because, it's the battery. The screen, it takes the batteries on all of this. I just want to make sure that I'm telling you this correctly. 5 minutes when it's not touched, it will normally shut itself down.
Okay, good.
You can, it looks like you can tap twice on that button to extend the period up to 8 hours. So, but normally 5 minutes is good because if you haven't touched the setting in 5 minutes, usually you want it to shut down to save battery. We already went through this. This is your languages.
Yep.
This can say, we went through that, right?
Yes, we did.
And only if she really has trouble seeing the screen, she may love this function because she might be used to touch screen, but she doesn't want to use it because she can't see the screen well enough. This is for the date and time, and this is the update. Okay. So if you hook it up to the internet and there's an update, it'll say update the unit now. You'll press it or whatever. We have not, I think we had, no, I don't think, not with this one. We've had no updates. But if we know of something that can improve the unit or something we want to add on to the unit, we may contact you saying there's been an update. You can contact your customers that have purchased a VLDXL and let them know there's an update. Maybe their kids, if they can't do it, can connect it up to the internet, and you can automatically get the update through the unit. So that's about it to the unit. Most of it is getting familiar and feeling good about, maneuvering around once your patient comes in. I don't get to use this unit as much as the reps on the road. They get to touch it every day and work with people. And I get to show it online. So sometimes I even get stuck and I tell people it's definitely the user and not the unit itself. It's the person using it.
If you don't want to use the touch screen, then how do they maneuver around, or can they?
Okay, they maneuver around with the dynamic line scrolling.
Okay. So
if you turn this off, they're definitely going to use those buttons on the side. So this unit goes up and down and side to side. So they'll use, those arrow buttons on the side. I'm trying to get to the picture, but you know the ones I mean, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
I got them.
Okay. they'll use those buttons to maneuver around. And with this unit, they can maneuver all around with it. These buttons, blue buttons. Yeah. So up and down and side to side.
So in order to use those buttons, do you have to have the touchscreen shut off?
No.
You don't?
No.
Okay.
No. Because the dynamic line scrolling really doesn't have an on-off button. The only thing that you can change with the dynamic line scrolling is the speed. Now, if you're not seeing your line scrolling right now,
Yeah, I don't see it.
okay, it's probably because you're on the lowest magnification and there's nowhere to scroll. You're seeing everything within the camera.
Okay.
See, but when you work with your visually impaired, they're going to want it to go up to 5x or 6x, you know, and then the camera, then the line's going to scroll across. I know I did the same thing the first time. That's the reason I know.
Yeah.
I said, this thing isn't scrolling. And it's
Yeah,
because I didn't have it.
is now.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's good to know because I didn't know that.
Yeah, because really you can see everything when you're on the lowest power that the camera will see. And then, you know, once it goes up in power, then you can no longer see what you once saw. So then it needs to scroll across.
Okay. Gotcha.
So if you have any other questions, I've kind of gone through the time with you. I went over a little bit of time. I hope that's okay.
No, that's okay.
Oh, okay. If you have any other questions, though, Kim, when you're either working with your patient or you're trialing beforehand, or anybody there has some other questions, feel free to call me or get in touch with me or email me, whatever the case may be.
So how do we get this recorded session?
So what I'm going to do once I hang up, it's going to give me the option to upload this session.
Okay.
And then I'll email it to you via a link. It might take me till tomorrow because I'm not in the office today. I might need my IT people to help me do it.
Yeah,
I've done it before. I've done it before, but I'm just not promising I can get it to you today. It also takes, since we've been talking for an hour and a half, it will take about 20 minutes to upload too. So
not a problem, Barbara. I won't need it today anyway, so that's fine.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
That's
so very good. Remember the training though. If you want, go over that module that I sent you on video, just to remember to reacquaint yourself with, you know, scrolling across and the eccentric viewing. It's all in those modules. So,
Did we have all those?
I believe so. I sent them all to you. I can send them to you again.
I'll check with Linda to make sure we have them.
Yeah, she might have printed them off and put them in a book somewhere.
Okay.
And
all right.
I'll go through and see. I can't remember which module. I want to say it was either module number 2 or number 9. It goes over the eccentric viewing training. And the video, of course, is number 8. So that could be a good one to go over again as well.
I think so.
The basics. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Well, good luck, and let me know if there's anything else I can help you with. Okay.
Thank you very much, Barbara. Have a good day.
You too. Take care now. All righty. Bye-bye.